Hello, thank you for listening to the Powerful Communication Podcast from Comsteria. You can find out more about what we do at comsteria.co.uk. Now, a few episodes ago, I was talking about being vulnerable, and I said that if you want a relationship with someone or a connection, or a lot of organisations say that they want engagement, it's much easier to get engagement if you're willing to be vulnerable. Well, today I have another V, and today's V is visibility. You also need to be visible. I work with quite a lot of clients when we do media relations training or crisis comms or presentation skills. And sometimes people will say, well, look, we don't need to do this. I don't want to be in the spotlight. We would rather fly under the radar. And that's fine. And for certain sectors and certain types of businesses where you might consider yourself untouchable, or it doesn't really matter who the leader is, that's fine. There are other organisations, and it's really important that you're able to identify which of these categories you fall into. There are other organisations where, well, you might want to remain hidden, but there's a customer base or a user base that demand transparency and would quite like sight of you. And the example that I would give would be the principal of a university. There's no necessarily day-to-day requirement for the principal of a university to rub shoulders with the students. We're not suggesting that for a minute. Any institution would suffer if the chief exec took time away from the meetings and the relationships and the negotiations and spent time with the rank-and-file customers, the humble students, or whoever it is. But that doesn't mean that you can hide entirely. And you need to be smart about this. Because the problem with not being visible is you never build up any goodwill. So when something happens, like you're making some redundancies, or things aren't as good as they used to be, or you lose a key client or a contract, or any of that bad stuff that sometimes businesses and organisations need to do, if you've never been visible and built up goodwill when things were rosy, it becomes really easy to attack you or criticize you or get rid of you when the heat's on and things get tough. You need to cultivate some goodwill. The challenge, of course, is, well, what if you are an out-of-touch, arrogant, elitist prat? The media is just going to find that out and amplify it. You're damn right they are. Maybe you shouldn't have taken the job in the first place. So if you're not willing to be visible, it's worth asking, well, why not? And maybe there are some things you can do that would make yourself a little bit more visible in order to cultivate some of that goodwill. You know, there was a recent story recently about the principal of a university. It was about the amount of money that this individual had claimed on foreign travel. Now, if you look between the lines and actually figure out, it wasn't really that much money. For someone making foreign trips, for somebody doing deals and bringing investment into the university or the organisation, it's not really that much money. But if we feel that we don't know this person, we've never seen them, we've never heard from them, it's easy to label them as out of touch, arrogant, elite. Oh, it's all right for them, it's a gravy train, etc. I would always advise clients to, even although it might mean you get a little bit of criticism day by day all the time, surely that's better than you just wake up one morning to a barrage. Everybody's against you. Everybody wants you out. The thickest skinned person in the world, I don't know many people that can handle that kind of criticism. And of course, it usually happens when there's already something going wrong. There's already some sort of pressure on the organisation. Far better just to let people in, let them see who you are and what you're doing. And they might not agree with everything, but what you gain by being transparent and accountable and available and visible, to me, that is absolutely worth its weight in gold. To me, that's a big part of what leadership is. So be visible. And if you need help getting visible, give us a shout. comsteria.co.uk, or you can give us a phone 0141 628 8228. Thanks very much for listening. And if there's someone you think that needs to hear this, then you can share it with them.